Hi, this is Kevin from SwordnArmory, and today I'm going to show you how to inspect your sword. Alright, so we're going to start off with an external examination. First thing you want to check your sight out. Make sure you don't have any massive splits in it. Check the whole length, but mostly up in the koiguchi area. If you're going to be moving around with your sword, or doing things like nukitsuke or nukiuchi, the draw cutting, you want to make sure that you don't have any major splits up in the koiguchi area. It will compromise the habaki fit and could very well lead to further splitting, endangering your hands if you do draw cutting. From there, move down to your tsuba. Make sure it's not rattling all over the place. Move down to your tsuka. You're going to want to check your ito. Make sure that your ito is not falling off the thing. If you want it to be nice and snug, at least to an acceptable point. Check your mekugi. Make sure that it looks okay from the outside. Make sure your fushi and your kashida are not falling off, and make sure your knots are not coming undone. If the menuki are sliding around, just like having loose ito, it could compromise how you're able to hold onto your sword. You might lose control. Make sure that you check those things as well. Alright, moving on to a slightly more internal exam. Check your blade. You want to make sure that you don't have any massive chips or cracks in your edge, running through your hamon or anything like that. Chips are a big inconvenience. Cracks, a little bit more of a safety hazard. Check your blade from both the spine and the edge side, the ha and the mune. Make sure that you don't have any big twists. Make sure you don't have any big bends. Those can make cutting both difficult and sometimes dangerous, especially for the joints. If you're hitting things at bad angles, you have a lot of pressure going onto your elbow, onto your wrist, something that you want to avoid as much as possible. Check your habaki. Make sure your habaki's not rattling around all over the place, attempting to fall out of place. The habaki is the heart of the sword. It makes sure that everything else, as far as the fittings go, stays nice and tight. You don't get that really, really bad rattling reverb. That is always not fun. Alright, on to the final step of a complete inspection. You're going to want to check the inside of your handle. First things first, pop out your mekugi. Most modern-made production swords will have two. This one has one. Go ahead and check your mekugi, make sure it's not splitting in half on you. Once you've done that, pull your blade out of the saya, and this is the traditional way of doing it. Pull it down near the base of the tsuka, strike the back of your hand. It should pop it right out. If that doesn't work for you, there's a thing called a nakagonuki, which is basically just a piece of wood that rests on top of the tsuba. You hammer on that piece of wood, and it pops the whole fixture off. That, more often than not, is the case with production swords just because of the tight fit tsuka. There's plenty of info on the web about how to buy or construct one of those, so I won't go into too much detail now. Check your nakago. Make sure there's no major cracks in your nakago. No cracks at all, rather. Same thing like the blade. If you have cracks in your nakago, you compromise the structural integrity of the blade. Never a good thing. Check your tsuka core. Remove the fushi and look in the opening. Make sure you don't have any cracks. Again, structural integrity. If there's cracks here, then you're compromising the strength of your tsuka, which could lead possibly to what is known in some circles as the flying helicopter of death. You want it to be a nice, solid piece of wood the whole way around, glue seams nice and tight. What you don't want is something that looks like this. Once you've got that done, go ahead and start sliding that onto your nakago again. Remove the blade. Once again, grip the base of the tsuka and pop your hand down onto your opposite hand, lodging the nakago into the tsuka nice and firm. Slide your blade back into your saya to keep both you and the blade protected, and replace your mekugi. Alright, this has been how to properly inspect your sword. I hope you enjoyed. I hope it's been informative, and as always, cut safe.